Okay, so today we're going to be making a very basic bow. Supplies you're going to need for today, you're going to need ribbon. It can be 1.5 inch or 2.5 inches wide. You'll need some scissors and a bow maker or just a lot of dexterity. Okay, so let's see here. Got a crooked end on this ribbon, so I'm just going to cut it off, straighten it out. I'm going to make tails that are 10 inches long. So I'm my bow maker. As you can see, I'm just measuring my tail out to 10 inches. If you want it to be 5 or 12 or whatever number you want it to be, just measure it out. And then we're going to make our loops 7 inches today. So you just measure it out to 7 inches. As you can see, there's the 7. So I didn't go over this step. I got ahead of myself. All right, so 10-inch tail. And then we're going to twist it in the middle, in between these poles. It's twisted so that the pretty side is facing down. Okay, so tail, your pretty side is facing up. To start your loop, it's going to face down. That way, when you finish your loop, the pretty side's up. So both sides of your loop have the pretty side out. So again, you measure out your tail to whatever length you want it. Put it in the prongs of your bow maker. I have the Easy Bow Maker, but there's all kinds of bow makers out there that would work. Or if you have someone who can just hold it for you, that might work too. All right, so you're going to twist it in the middle in between these two prongs or whatever you want to call them. Measure out your loop. Make sure your tail hadn't wiggled too far off from where you had it. Now you're going to twist it again in between the two prongs. Because remember we said when we start the loop, you want your pretty side down. We're going to make these loops the same size. This is the most basic bow. So 7-inch loop on this side. Pretty side comes back. And then we're going to measure a 10-inch tail. Okay, so you're also going to need a pipe cleaner or floral wire or a zip tie. And what I'm going to do is, you can see I am grabbing it right beside the poles here and pulling it up. I'm going to flip it over. So my tails, I see the ugly side of those because I'm on the bottom. You can see this is going to be my pretty side. So ugly side facing me. I'm going to center a pipe cleaner in between my two ribbons. Between my two loops. You can kind of measure them out to make sure you've got them even. Push the whole bow forward. Okay, like this. So fold it in half over your pipe cleaner. Here's the pipe cleaner. Just fold it in half like that. Then you're going to pinch the pipe cleaner and twist the whole bow 3 times. If you twist the pipe cleaner, your bow won't be as tight and it won't look as fluffy. So do it that way. So then we're going to try to fluff everything out. So you're going to pull your loops to the top. Let's make sure we got our loops kind of even. Yep, did pretty good there. So we're just going to put our hand in there and spread them out. So our loops are spread and then our tails are straight. Okay, so my tails didn't end up quite being the exact same length. So I'm just going to trim them to be even. And then I'm going to dovetail my ends so they got a little more finished look. So what you do is you fold, you take your two tails, layer them on top of each other. And then you fold them in half. You put the wired edges together. This ribbon is wired. If you make those with non-wired ribbon, they're not going to hold their shape very well. So I always recommend doing wired ribbon. And you just draw a little imaginary V or triangle and cut that. And then what it does is it gives your tails this dovetail shape on the end. It makes it look very pretty and finished, okay? So you may say, oh, I can still see my pipe cleaner. Well, you got a couple options. One is you can just leave it the way it is and say, but it's okay, it's pretty. Or if you want it to look even more finished, you can get some more of your same ribbon you just used, and then just measure it out, just kind of eyeball it, how much ribbon it would take to wrap around the pipe cleaner. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I always over guess, but this is, I would say do about 3.5 inches. Okay. And then what I do is I get the ribbon. I got a little wire poking out here. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that so it doesn't poke me later. I roll the insides, I do it in thirds. So I take this edge and roll it to the middle, and this edge and roll it to the middle. That way it's not quite as wide, because your pipe cleaner is not very wide. And then I fold it. Well, let's see here, let's line it up a little better. So I've got it all folded. So what I'm gonna do is put one end back here where my pipe cleaners are. Then I'm gonna pull it around. Okay, you can see the front is now, well, we'll scooch it over a little bit. The front is now covered. And then we're gonna get my pipe cleaner. You're gonna twist it the whole bow again 3 times. Okay, perfect. So now that's in there good, but you've got some extra. So you're gonna cut this off. Just gonna straighten everything back out. And now you have a pretty ribbon bow that you can put on a box or a gift or a wreath or anywhere you want to put it. So that is the most basic bow you can do.